Welcome to Diary Chunk, where I have my account locked to the chunks which the Diary Cape can teleport to, with a few of the tasks needing over level 90 in the skill. I spent the last year chasing it and got it with exactly total level 2000. All quests pre-sailing. And on this new chapter of my account, I sold all tradables from my bank, resulting in 163 mil coins. And I decided to keep a good few collection logs I managed to get along the way, like skilling outfits and random convenience items like the Incando hammer or the plank sack. A total of 16 Diary Cape teleports bring me to 16 chunks, one for each region, but Karamja has 4 due to the old retired taskmasters, and Draenor for Twiggy, which sells the cape. For Lumbridge, I get the central Lumbridge chunk with the woodcutting and defense capes. There's also a bunch of caves connected underneath, from the swamp caves all the way to Motherlode Mine or the Calphite layer via various transportations down there. The desert has the Shantae Pass, which is only really useful for the teleport close to a bank. Varrock has the central Varrock market, and the main thing here is the rune crafting cape. And the wilderness is represented by Edgeville, where the caves give Obor, Bryophyta, and Scurius. Mauritania has Cannabis, with a tanner, a raw fish shop, and my most reliable Slayer master, Magna. Valador has a disease-free tree patch, the giant mole, and the construction cape. Draenor has forestry, which I mostly greenlogged already, and the farming cape. Kandarin gives me the fire-making cape. Vremenik has a player-owned house portal, where I can build only one item, since I don't have a saw. So that means I can plant a spirit tree in there, and that spirit tree can allow me to teleport to one place, as all others are overworld areas, which are outside of my chunks. And that place is Prifdunus. This is a giant instance area, and since I can teleport to and from Prifdunus via that spirit tree, it is fair game. And luckily, this area does give me a saw, so I can unlock construction properly, as well as the gauntlet providing me a solution for the eventual Inferno grind I have to complete. Some might disagree with me including this area, but some tasks will take extra years to complete otherwise, and I prefer to not backlog too much. The Western Provinces has the giant tree, which only gives free collection logs from the Gnome Restaurant minigame, and Demonic Gorillas, because those are also in an instanced area and not affected by locking out chunks in the overworld. Ardoin, with a single Joker, gives me a 1 in 5000 champion scroll drop from him, and there's not much else there. Courant has the catacombs below, with Scotizo and Saragnis being bosses to greenlog, as well as Hellhounds for the Smoldering Stone, and Metal or Brutal Dragons for the infamous Visage. And finally there's Karamja, with the 4 teleports going to Brimhaven for the Agility Cape and a good food shop with Karambons. Shiloh Village, which has Kuradel, which is gonna be good for Slayer points, and eventually the 99 Slayer Cape. Another teleport is to a random guy at the Cairn Isle. Here I can hunt for horned Grags, and if future content adds another province to the Diary Cape, and sailing is needed for it, I can salvage from bull shark drops at the Karamja volcano, which is the final teleport, which obviously is the Inferno, also the Jad pet, the Zuk pet, and the Tizar collection log. At the moment, a total of 256 tasks have to be completed before I can leave these chunks, with some of them taking only a few minutes, and others, like the Inferno pet, Dragonstone armor, which average 5700 crystal keys to complete the set, or the Onyx from Scotizo or Volcano, all seeming multiple years of grinds. Other tasks to mention are 8 skill capes, with some taking less than 100 hours, up to rune crafting, which, even ignoring the million essence I'm gonna have to gather, just the crafting part is gonna take over 500 hours. And then there's also 10 bossing pets, which could take hundreds of hours to complete for even just a single one of those. 2 items of note that I chose to keep were the Slayer Helm, seeing as there's level 99 to get from 93, and I thought it'd be a convenient time saver. You guys can vote if I drop it or not. And the other item is the Dark Light, which you can also vote if I'm gonna drop it, but I mostly kept it because I've got a bunch of demon related tasks, like the Abyssal Sire, Scotizo, Demonic Gorillas, Tormented Demons, the Demon Scroll, and the Smoldering Stone. And within my chunks I have the means to upgrade it all the way to the Ember Light via the current Catacombs and the Tormented Demons, so I thought it'd be fitting to keep. The Ash Sanctifier and the Bone Crusher are diary rewards, so I'm gonna keep those as well. And now let's finally show some gameplay. The first few months of clips I didn't have a microphone, so I'm gonna voice over everything that's happened so far. Started out the account's rebuild by browsing all shops, purchasing some tools, as well as best in slot tasks that I've got access to the diary capes requirement, like Perdu, to buy the Gothic Scape, the Book of the Dead and the Lunar Ring for Mage, Ava's Accumulator for range, Evander's Flail for prayer, Helm of Nate is not for melee, and then I went to the White Knight's Armory for some white boots, white gloves, and to certification for the Proselyte set, which together with the Ardorn Cloak 4, Radha's Blessing 4, Explorer Rings 4, and the Falador Shield 4, almost complete my entire best in slot prayer bonus in my chunks, but I'm still gonna need the Amulet of Fury. And then underneath Lumbridge, there's the Barrows gloves that I can rebuy with some insane stats. And over in Keldogrim, a rune pickaxe to use until the Calvite Queen drops the dragon pickaxe. I buy a ring and necklace mold as well. Then I went over to the Dwarven Mine for some runite to make myself a rune axe for the best in slot for the 99 woodcutting grind. I went over to Shiloh for some fishing gear, opened up the swamp cave and completed the first skilling task to catch a cave eel, and then I went to do my first Tears of Gothics to gain a level in my lowest skill, Hunter, which I realized was a foolish way of spending that weekly XP, since I can just trap Horned Grags. So I went and leveled it up to 75 instead. So the next week's XP goes to construction, so I can unlock Priftana sooner, as I don't have the level to plant the spirit tree yet. And then it was time to do some Slayer. I got a bear task. I made the magic shortbow from scratch, sniped the bears in the Ardorn Zoo, which are just outside of my chunk. I finally realized that I could thieve the crafting stall, where I purchased the 2 molds from to get the other 2 molds, the bracelet and the amulet mold. The tiara mold isn't in there, but that's fine, as I can thieve the current silver stall for tiaras, and I can kill abyssal leeches for the cosmic talisman, and then combine them into the head of the eye so I can craft some runes. I can also kill them to get the 4 rune pouches, but without a way to repair them, only the small one is gonna have some value to me in the long run. And while I was there, I was enchanting some amulets for the best in slot Amulet of Strength. And I gathered some clues in the meantime, so I opened up a duplicate Sandwich Lady top, as I got one back in my free-to-play days, and the Easy Casket gave me purple sweets. Over in Puro, I bought the 10 daily jars, and got myself a magic butterfly net and looted some implings until I could make weapon poison plus from coconut, cactus spine and spider eggs. I paid a diamond to access the markets in Xanaris to buy a dragon longswords and a dragon dagger and applied the poison to the dagger. And then I went off to do Slayer for 93 attack, 94 strength, lava battle staff and 83 defense. I then got a longbone and a totem piece from the same hill giant, about a 1 in 186,000 chance to happen. Rock shell, splinter and boots are not collection logs, but they're still counted as untracked uniques in the chunk picker. And I got those from killing the sand crabs. The next Slayer task, I got a Mystic Hat Light from a wall beast, a collection log, plus a best in slot magic item. Next up, I remembered I could reclaim the Goblin Maze, which has a special attack which boosts your prayer equal to your damage. And with my eventual dummy in the POH, it will be quite valuable during bossing and Slayer. I also reclaim an anti-dragon shield in Lumbridge, which will eventually combine with the Draconic Visage for my best in slot melee shield. A quick interruption for 85 mining before I move on to Blue Dragons as my Slayer task, which give me blue scaly dragon hide, like the rock shell items, not a collection log, but an untracked unique. A few kills later and one drops the Dragon Med Helm, which is outclassed simply by the Helm of Natus Nod. Then I felt like doing some Obor combat achievements, so I got back to the wall, if you don't get pushed, and Sleeping Giant if you freeze him once he dies. 74 construction from Tears of Gothics, 91 ranged. I then got a Mogre's task, and I wanted to test if the new sailing ones would count towards Slayer. I managed to hit one at the southwestern corner of Brimhaven, and yes, they do. During that task I got the Mud Skipper hat and the flippers as well, which weren't chunk tasks as they don't spawn inside my chunk, but it's still a nice fashion scape to have. Next up, I felt like unlocking the gates to Seragnis, which meant killing the Shaded Beast, and another weird completable was the Corrupted Kite Shield, gotten from Horrific if you give him a Pestle and Mortar, and an Air Rune. And then I went and made a Ring of Wealth from a Dragonstone, looted from a bag of gems. And then, while looking for Runite limbs to make a Rune Crossbow, I got a Dragon Plate Skirt instead, which is best in slot tank armor in the chunks. And with repurchasing the Colossal Blade from Purdue, I was ready for Seragnis. The third kill I set it to Crush, and got the Newspaper Enthusiast combat achievement, and at 6 KC ready to pounce, where she can't use a ranged attack twice in a row. And at the next kill, Insect Repellent, taking no damage of prayer. I then went and got another Dragonstone to get the Amulet of Glory, as well as the Rune Crossbow, to try out some demonic gorillas to get a Dragon Scimitar. My first Ninja Imblink gave me Snakeskin Boots, the best in slot task for ranged boots. I then moved back to Obor to do a free-to-play kill for the combat achievement. With the Dragon Scimitar I wanted to upgrade further by getting the Abyssal Whip. 96 hit points. After 950 Abyssal Demons and no whip, I decided to get the Arc Light, as many have told me it was better DPS. And only after a few trips, the Abyssal Whip drops. And then after a bit of clue juggling, I managed to get a Heart Casket, which gave me the Enchanted Top, which has the same stats as my best in slot Mystic Top. So I'm gonna count this as a chunk task completed. Next up, I killed some Tormented Demons, and I got the Unending Torment combat achievement, And after a quick level 89 woodcutting, I went into the fight caves to reclaim my cheesecake. Bringing rune crossbow with broad bolts, red d'hide, sea boots 4 to make me a little bit tankier than the snakeskin boots. I prayer flick to preserve prayer, which only backfired once, when the ranger dragged me into view of the major. For long I made it to the double major and Jad, where I tick perfectly turned off my prayer. But it was a weak hit. So I moved on, and when the healers came, I decided to kill them instead of just trapping them, which took a while. And they left me at 26 hit points remaining, but as I shouldn't be taking any more damage at this point, I eventually took it down, got the cheesecake back, and denying the healers combat achievement. That's where I'm gonna end this video. Lots of progress early on the account, but clips will be few and far between once I start the real long grinds on the junk map. I'll pin a message in the comments where you can share your thoughts on if I should keep the Slayer helm and the arc light, as they changed gameplay a fair bit more than other items I kept after I got the diary cape. I also quickly want to mention that raid 4, the Fractured Archive, will be below Lumbridge Cave, so I'm fairly certain I'm gonna have access to it, unless there's like some mini quest like they have in Tombs of Amascut. And if that quest start is outside of my chunks. Anyway, goodbye.